Hello everyone, and welcome back to Railroader. I think I finally have gotten over the sickness that I had after my trip to Nashville. I apologize for just the inconsistency of videos lately. I know I had actually finally started getting into a little bit of a rhythm with posting. I do apologize for that, really and truly. And I know that the first two episodes on the TNN really showed that fact. I didn't have the energy that I really feel like I needed for that, especially starting a new railroad. The editing was really sloppy because all I felt like doing was laying down and beating my head with my pillow and sleeping. So hopefully, and I do already have a video, two more videos recorded that I never edited or anything like that for the TNN. And I think probably what I'm going to do is just condense those videos down into one video that's not ridiculously short, but a video where I just condense it down into not the boring slugfest of me going, and yeah, I think this is what we're going to... Yeah, I hate listening to somebody that sounds like that on YouTube. And I'm sure everybody else does too. But today, we're going to jump into the new update for the experimental branch of Railroader. And for me, as a Southern Railway guy, this is an amazing update. It adds in a locomotive that, even though it's probably the most iconic of the Southern Railway's classes of locomotives, you could probably still argue that 4501 is the most iconic Southern Railway locomotive individually. This was probably their most famous class of locomotives. This is the new P48 Pacific. It's a heavy Pacific. Now, what is so special about this? I think it says, right, maybe? No, it doesn't, because I'm not in company mode. But this locomotive is based directly, and let's jump into an aerial view of this behemoth. This is based off of Southern Railway's PS4 Heavy Pacifics, the famous locomotives, one of which is preserved at the Smithsonian Institute in New York. Now, with these customization features, we can go down here, go to base color. Oh yeah, that's right. We have to do this. I probably cannot find Southern Railway green to save my life. To be honest, that kind of looks like the color that 722 operated with, but that's definitely not Southern Railway green. That's way too far into the blue. Yeah, no, probably not finding that. Oh man. No. But anyway, so this thing in the game is pretty good. Now, I should have written down all of its stats and everything, so that, you know, I could tell you guys, how good it is. So let's jump real quick. We are gonna save that. So let's jump over real quick to Tallulah Falls. Okay. So we're gonna do TRCM, and this will just allow us to kind of look at all the locomotives' stats. There are two more locomotives in this update, by the way, which is great. One of them's a diesel, though. That's cool. But let's jump over here. So if we scroll down, the list of vanilla locomotives is growing, which I love to see. But here we go. So you can see here, P48 Pacific, Southern Railway, PS4 462. So it has 47,500 pounds of tractive effort. It's a big, humongous driver Pacific. So unfortunately, it doesn't have the greatest factor of adhesion ever. It's not got a terrible curve radius. Weighs 277,000 pounds empty. Its capacity is 15 tons of coal with 14,000 gallons of water. this behemoth is going to set you back a cool $24,000, which, if we look, that's running pretty much with everything else within sort of its closest weight class. So let's jump real quick back over to here. We'll gussy it up just a little bit with the trio of mods that I'll probably record a mod review for here just momentarily. So let's do uh-oh. Okay, well, I guess we're not doing that right now. I'm gonna go have to go figure out why that didn't work. But let's AI road 30 miles an hour. Let's just watch this thing take off real quick. Nice, powerful sounding locomotive. Alright, let's move on to the next new locomotive. Now, the next new locomotive, let me figure out, let's see, it's a C, right? Yeah, a C40. So the next new locomotive is the C40 Mastodon. Now, the C40 Mastodon, if you're a fan of the Strasbourg Railroad, you're probably going to recognize this locomotive. Now, this locomotive is based off of the Norfolk and Western's something class Mastodons. Mastodon was the term for the 480. So they enjoyed a pretty decent career. They were never that really great. They were sort of this weird intermediate between both the decapod advancement from the consolidation and the Mikado advancement from the consolidation. They were sort of right there in that weird little mix between those two advancements. And they were, even though the decapods weren't massively successful, they were still more successful than the Mastodons. Pretty good model, just like the PS4 model. Good model. Everything looks right. Everything sort of prototypically works the way that it probably should. Let's jump over to the company mode test here, and we'll get the details down for this locomotive. So let's jump down to C40 Mastodon. So here we go. The C40 to Mastodon, it's based off the Norfolk and Western M-Class 480s. Has 40,200 pounds of tractive effort, a factor of adhesion of 4.2, which is pretty good. It can handle a medium curve radius. It weighs 206,200 pounds empty. Its tender can hold 16 tons of coal, and its capacity is 10,000 gallons of water. This thing's going to set you back about $19,000. So if we go back to the K35 Mikado, you can see pretty good price jump. It's also a pretty good tractive effort jump. And then versus the D46 Decapod, it's a fair amount cheaper, but it also has pretty well scaled less tractive effort. All in all, it's probably going to be a pretty useful locomotive for anybody that's looking for something that's a little bit of an intermediate, maybe between the Mikado and the Decapod. Yeah, it's going to give you also something that if you don't want to jump straight up to the C46 consolidation as well above the Decapod. So let's run this guy in reverse, so we don't have to go deal with the PS4 Pacific down there. Let's just see it take off real quick. So there we go. Now the next new locomotive is one that I'm not all that interested in, but I know a lot of people probably are. So let's jump over here and we will place down the Test Railroad 1000. The Test Railroad 1000 is an EMD SD7. So I don't know much about diesel locomotives. I can't tell you a heck of a lot about diesels. The one good thing about this locomotive for me is the fact that, hey, you know what? At least it's a high hood. So, again, I don't know a heck of a lot about diesel, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it. I like it. I do like it because it's a high hood. Now let's jump back over real quick to the company mode test railroad, and we will perhaps we will tell you about this guy right. Why am I going down? Here we go. So the EMD SD7, a 6-axle diesel-electric locomotive. It's got a massive tractive effort of 90,800 pounds. Its factor of adhesion is 4.0. Factor of adhesion in the game, I have yet to see them slip when not using a mod that enhances their ability to slip. They've got a small curve radius, as I think 99% of diesels do. It weighs 360,000 pounds empty, and its capacity is 2,400 gallons of diesel fuel. This thing will set you back. Now you have to think this is the best locomotive in the game by a pretty good margin, right? So it's going to cost you the most. Diesel fuel's cheaper than coal as well. It's going to run you a cool $54,000. So not the cheapest thing that has ever been put into the game, obviously. Now, let's jump back over to this test railroad, and we will see if I can show off some of these other additions. Now, again, I'm not sure if I can or not, but let's see if I can. So, it added the Union Tank Car Company tank car. That fixed the capacity of the single dome tank car from 8,000 gallons to 10,000 gallons. And they added Locust Pen Company and fuel dealer buildings. So let's see if we can find those on the map and jump up to them. Okay. Cool. Okay, so it's a nice factory. Got pretty good detail. Like all the other buildings in the game, it's hollow, but why would you ever need to go inside of it? I like this. Looks pretty good. I like the way that they did think about the fact that these funnels, the smokestacks, are pretty massive, and they probably need to be, supported. I do like that, and I like the way that they did it, putting it over the top of the road. Now, this is stuff that I'm not really going to show off probably, so I'm just going to kind of go through these things with you. So, other things in this update are the auto engineer and timetable improvements. So, these are... The auto engineer is not necessarily a new feature. The timetable, however, is very much so a new feature. So let's go through these. The auto engineer now interprets timetable times that are 12 hours in the past as the next day, allowing assigning an AE to a timetable train for the next day during the 12 hours preceding its departure. The auto engineer now handles timetable stops where their arrival time is after the departure time. Example being 1800 arrival, 7 o'clock departure. By waiting until next day after the arrival, we recommend an interval of several hours between the two to avoid edge cases, as well as considering using different trains to support layover schedules like this. The auto engineer HUD status label now shows reason for not moving, which was previously only posted as a notice. Fixed artificially higher numbers of transfer passengers gathering at stations. Fixed railroad engineer waypoint mode moving slowly through cleared signals that are not lined for their desired route. Fixed auto engineer waypoint mode reporting switch against when waypoint is within fouling distance. AE in waypoint mode will now foul switches unless they are already fouled. Or CTC controlled. Okay, I don't know why I thought I read that wrong. Fixed timetable editor window not prompting to apply changes when hitting backspace. Enabled throwing fouled switch in case where car fouling it is already on that route. So I've got to click over real quick and scroll down. So, other enhancements. Improve the MU mode reverser handling to automatically set an appropriate reverser setting. Fixes diesel MU to steam running at centered reverser setting. Fixed issue that would prevent completing purchase of cars if they could not be fit on one track. HUD controls for diesel engines now snap and show notch values. In-cab control through tooltip now shows notches. Fixed first-person camera not moving smoothly with swaying cars. And last but not least, improved performance in cases with many nearby trains via adaptive decal culling. Note to modders, we highly recommend consolidating decals where possible. Smaller decals are culled when decals are visible, similar to how level of detail works. So that's the new update. Some new fun stuff, some new locomotives added into the game, a lot of improvements. I do like that we are now starting to get more and more buildings for these industries. It really is starting to make the world come to life. So let's jump back. Oh no. Oh no. Let's grab this. So if you enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, I'm gonna run over real quick onto the TNN and see if I can figure out how to get the livery mods and everything back to where they're working correctly. I hope I don't have to completely uninstall and reinstall them. But you know what? If I have to, I have to. The unfortunate part is that's company mode, and I have no way of cheating, as far as I know right now. So it's going to be hard to cheat locomotives back into the game. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do what all the YouTubers ask you to do. I hope to see you back here again. But even if I don't, I hope you have a great day. And peace out.